Cool.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
I will take care of people who are in waiting rooms. So usually you could wait a little bit because people are joining us. Maybe just 1 or 2 minutes.
Of course.
We have already 50 people here, so yeah, great. We could maybe announce that all registered participants was more than 270, so it's quite unusual for a webinar. Could you imagine, I don't know, 1 month before when with usual we are start talking about organizing this conference, then say, wow, this is really, really nice.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Yes, you too.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Nice to
Hello.
hear from you. Okay, maybe we can start.
Just a second, Jože, maybe just 1 minute because many people are attending right now. Okay, I think Jože, the people will come in, but you could start, of course.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on human-centric technologies, especially on the topics of AI and Industry 5.0. My name is Jože Guna from the Faculty of Natural Sciences and Engineering from the University of Ljubljana, and as part of our common project, as part of the Alpan Space call called RECENTRE, we are organizing this transnational webinar on these topics. I'm very thrilled that you are here, and I'm also thrilled that we had, as Aleš said, over 270 registrations, and now also that the attendees here, the number is growing steadily. So today, this is today's agenda. We will have 2 parts. First, there will be the welcome speech and the presentation of our common RECENTRE project, and also invitation to join the project and to contribute by Mr. Roberto Santolamazza. And then there will be a presentation on the perspectives from the Ministry of Education by Dr. Boris Stojilkovic. And then I will try to put some light on these topics, especially on the Industry 5.0 and human-centric design. Then we will join to the keynote speeches. Here we have 3 very interesting speakers who will share their ideas and best practices. We have Dr. Blaž Pertalanič from the Institute of Josef Stefan. We have Dr. Thomas Uslander from Fraunhofer Institute. And we have Mr. Ban Pevnik, a director of the very successful company High Project. And they are also dealing with a lot of really high-tech solutions, also using Industry 5.0 and human-centric designs. Then we'll have a short break, and we'll use this break to engage also you, the audience, and you're very welcome to contribute your feedback also during these sessions. And for this, we're employing the Slido platform. We'll be showing you the links in shortly, but also pay please close attention to the chat. Because in the chat you will find links to these short surveys where we would like your feedback on the topics which will be presented today. And during this short session at about 4 o'clock, we'll present your thoughts and feedback, what you think about these topics. And also, if you have any questions, please post them to the chat, and we will ask these questions to the speakers and present you with the answers. Then at about 4:20, there will be a roundtable, a panel discussion, where my good colleague, Aleš Pelc from the Technology Park of Ljubljana will be moderating this very interesting panel. We'll have 5 participants in this panel, and they are Marco Galanti from the Technology Innovation Institution, Vyacheslav Gromov, Urban Pilnik, Blaž Bertelanic, and Thomas Uslander, who will share their thoughts on the topics we will be discussing today. And about 10 to 5, we will close our session with takeaway notes and invitation for your contribution to the project. So this is today's agenda. Please pay attention to these 2 QR links and also to the chat. The links are also there. The first one, so actually the second one, Slido, takes you to the very, very short questionnaire, basically single questions, where you can click and share your thoughts about Industry 5.0 obstacles, advantages related to our topic. And then after this webinar is complete, we would also kindly ask for your opinion on the webinar. And you can share your thoughts on the survey, which is presented at the first link and also in the chat session. So I propose we start with a welcome speech by Mr. Roberto Santolamazza, who is the Managing Director and in charge of the Technology Innovation Center in Venice, Italy, and has been supporting through his career and experience innovation in companies and is developing innovative ecosystems for more than 20 years, both national and internationally. So please, Mr. Santolamazza, the floor is yours, and I will stop sharing now.
Yeah, thanks a lot for this space. But I was very, very interested in give you a warm welcome to this new project that is RECENTRE, in which my organization T2I is the leading partner, together with an excellent partnership and consortium. And I do this, let's say, live from Brussels, because currently I'm in Brussels at the ADH summit organized by the European Commission, as we as organization in Italy are part of one of the ADH focused on digital transformation and sustainability in, I would say in one word, Industry 5.0. And I'm having also here a lot of confirmation about the fact that this topic is really at the heart of the moment we are, the times we are living, because the discussion in these 2 days, even here, that is in a European summit, is basically about how to foster and support SMEs in the digital transformation that can be approached only in a, let's say, holistic view, considering many other aspects more than in the recent past that are exceeding the digital or the technological side that is considered as enabler, but moreover starting from a different point of view that is exactly the Industry 5.0 concept and approach. And I would say that above all, as you can imagine, above all, the main technology that is object of discussion in these days is the artificial intelligence, the boundaries of the usage of a respectful and ethic use of AI is needed, but also we know that there are many blurred lines among the what is considered ethic and not. So these are also very, very interesting topics that are also in considered and will be considered in the RECENTRE project, because are really at the heart of this big incredible, I would say, transformation moment in terms of potentiality, of improvement, of enabling new business models and many other possibilities. But I would say that, and also this is, part of the approach of this project. The main, I would say, not worry, but the main concern is about the capabilities, the skills, the training that is needed to deal with this huge potential in the small and medium enterprises. So I think that RECENTRE project is really something aligned to this approach and this very high potential moment in the I would say in the industry sector. On the other hand, another very, very crucial point that also we are discussing these 2 days is the necessity and the need in front of the huge challenges that we have, also considering the geopolitical situation and the fact that these technologies, mainly AI technologies, are in the hand of a few large companies in other countries, in other continents. The necessity to work out in networking and to establish stable networks in Europe, supporting and focusing on concrete actions towards the SMEs and the value chains that they belong to. So in this sense, also I think would be a very interesting field of experimentation with a very bottom-up approach, but very important, very relevant to our project to understand how to make how to capitalize what we will be finding out during our projects rolling out. So in this sense, will be part very active in supporting this, and this is basically one of the first meetings and the first moment to enroll and to bring on board companies for piloting, for experimentation, for training, for basically raising awareness for them about this huge potential and also risks connected to the AI. And in this sense, we found that the involvement of local value chain, local SMEs, and also hearing to them in defining the piloting actions will be really, really crucial. So I don't want to steal other time to this very interesting webinar that is the very first moment to get in touch with many companies. So I wish you all the best for this webinar, and we will have for sure opportunities to work together for the time being. And again, I want just to say that we are right in the right point, in the right moment. So best luck and have a good webinar.
Thank you very much for your contribution and sharing your insights onto this very important topic.
Yeah.
Here.
Thank you.
So now we move on to our next speaker, Dr. Borut Stojilkovic. who serves as the Undersecretary at the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Innovation in Slovenia, and is a researcher at the University of Ljubljana. He's an enthusiastic geographer and educator, and he specializes in geodiversity and directives, contributing to both academic research and policy development in education and innovation. Please, Dr. Stojilkovic, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just a second that I share my screen. Okay, I hope you can all see it, right?
Yes, very well.
Okay, good. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, in the name of our Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, thank you to Mr. Peoc and Dr. Guna for inviting us. I believe that you are fulfilling the need that is established here in the Slovenian higher education field very well. Congratulations and thank you very much on our part for including us in your projects, and thank you also for you participating in our projects and in our developmental endeavors. It has been evolving for more than half a century, and artificial intelligence is today part of all 4 key educational needs that we face. And projects such as yours not only address the digital component, but also green transition. It stimulates the innovation, the innovative ideas, and all the potential represented in this graph, in these graphics that we can find both in our professors, in our researchers, as well as also in our students in various study programs. Ethical concerns were already mentioned by Mr. Santolamazza in his address just before me, but still education is very fragile, but at the same time it is very crucial that we incorporate movements or tools such as artificial intelligence is into its work, since it can address many issues that we face, and it can leverage many efforts that we have. But still, ethically concerning, it can lead to quite dubious results, which could we face if we do not deal with it carefully. Some might be linked to grading, the others might be linked consequently to enrollment, and also let's not forget the natural component, how much resources are needed. So it has to be done sensibly, it has to be done wisely, it has to be planned, but most of all, it is very much important that we integrate it. In Slovenian higher education area, we are currently having 38 pilot projects under movement who are addressing such issues as artificial intelligence is. Others are innovative learning approaches with flipped learning environments, or introducing micro-credentials to our public education scheme. But artificial intelligence is playing a crucial part in many of those projects or sub-projects that are mitigating the economic and social impacts of the long COVID pandemic and addressing double issue. Higher education reform, which is just about to start, needed some piloting. It is important. It is imperative to address the issues that will be incorporated correctly, to experiment a little bit and to figure out what works for our society, what is beneficial, and to provide funding to the various ministry-led activities that all our public higher education institutions undergo. Slovenian universities, especially the biggest one, the University of Ljubljana, has its origin in typical Humboldt University, which transformed itself mainly with the Bologna reform into a more entrepreneurial university with startup spin-offs and so on. And now we are trying to move onwards to a more transformative and sustainable university area. And in doing that, we are really grateful to both our organizers and also other colleagues from the Technological Park, Faculty of Informatics, and other faculties from your university, that you are taking part in such an agile way in the pilot projects where you're trying to address artificial intelligence especially, but also awareness raising, and also that you're participating in the discussions about the regulations at our events, at our working groups, and so on. 38 pilot projects exist. 35 of them responded to our last month's questionnaire, or it was done 2 months ago, on how much they use artificial intelligence. So the people working within the projects and also outside of them at those universities, how much do they use it for their daily work, and where is room for improvement. What we found out that mainly the people who are involved in such projects also use these tools that are now so widely available and offer so many opportunities, whereas there is quite a lot of room for improvement with people that are standing outside, that are still only observing these rapidly changing area. And I believe that computer sciences and also all other technological advancements are contributing quite a lot, that also these 45% of people employed at these universities will have to shift one way or another. Together with OECD, we compiled a list of the most often uses of artificial intelligence in higher education and asked the people within these projects and also outside how much they address them at their daily work. What we found out is that Slovenian researchers or Slovenian professors are quite successful in using AI in their research and also in, for example, curriculum development. But however, on the other hand, there is quite a lot of room for improvement still on using AI in education in, for example, one-to-one coaching, into tailoring specific student needs. There is also still a room for improvement with adapting and getting used to and started using the advantages of innovative learning environments. But still, we are on the way there. And lastly, we need to focus even more on leveraging AI with administrative processes, so that would make the work and lives consequently of people who work in administration at universities easier. We can group the answers of people who participated. It was a huge group, and then the pilot project leaders sent us their summaries and reports. We can group them in 4 categories, and 3 typical characteristics taking part in each and every one of them. That would be that all of our pilots and all of our other projects are moving towards being more sustainable, green, and also digital. But at the same time, all of them showed, as I mentioned before, that there is still lack and consequently also potential of using AI in monitoring and in administration. But still, research and development are aiming quite high already. There is curriculum and educational strategies and being developed using AI. There is a bit less, but still skill building and capacity development. I believe that in the recent months, there have been many workshops and webinars such as this one, or seminars addressing the issue, which is very encouraging. And lastly, there are also administrative and technological procedures and infrastructure where AI-centric organization units are being established. And because of that, we are grateful to the European Union that they dedicated around 50 million euros to those pilots, and that they are actively seeking for the opportunities arising for that. For now, in primary schools, we do not have a special course, a special unit, a special subject dedicated to that. And current ministerial decision at the Ministry of Education was to integrate such topics into other subjects. But we will see what the future holds for future development. We have a general strategy on digital Slovenia until 2030. But there is still no specific artificial intelligence act for education or law yet. But still, it can be found in other legislative documents, where mainly for now GDPR is mentioned and certain ethical concerns. But I believe that also with the help of European Council, European Union, and all of you researchers will move towards answering the questions of transparency, equity, and the limitations that we are currently addressing, that we are currently facing. And because of that, to address that, let's sum up slowly. Top-down approach is needed only partly. From European Union, certain guidelines, how to work with it, how to implement it in research, in development, and in education. Whereas from bottom-up, building on AI literacy, both on working with and both on learning with and learning about AI is crucial. In that way, we'll be able to reach high resilience and lifelong learning more efficiently, especially now when education and society is on the verge of new social deal where universities will play a crucial part. Thank you very much and good luck with your webinar.
Dr. Stojilkovic, thank you very much for your contribution and very important insights on this topic.
Yeah.
And now we continue. Maybe you can unshare the screen, please. Great. So in the next few minutes, I will try to present the topics of Industry 5.0 and Society 5.0. A little bit about myself. I'm a passionate researcher and a teacher at the Faculty of Natural Science and Engineering here at the University of Ljubljana. I'm involved in a lot of projects regarding this. And one of these, let's say, passions is also human-centric design. And in the next, let's say, 5 minutes, I will try and light some light on the Industry 5.0 and human-centered design and why this is important. So I would like to go through these topics, Industry 5.0, Society 5.0, and especially European focus on these areas, why these areas are really important and why our project is important. And there is a common topic to this, and this topic is human-centered design. And it's heavily prevalent also in metaverse, extra technologies, and everything related to that. Maybe a short journey through different industrial revolutions. So up to now, we have like 5 such revolutions, from mechanization, electrification, automation, and then Industry 4.0, which means digitalization, heavy use of data, machine learning, and everything related to technology. It's very technology-based. And then there is a fundamental shift, which happened in 2020 or so, called Industry 5.0, where in addition to this technology, we add the human-centric design and human-centric aspects. So instead of only using technology, we ask ourselves how best to use this technology for humans. So basically, if we combined Industry 4.0 with human-centric design, we get Industry 5.0. So everything, not everything, but a lot of attention is on human-centric design approach, which means better customization, personalization, also resilience, adaptability, and also better waste management and focus on ecological aspects. Also here, there are a lot of, let's say, best practices in place. I would name one. It's called Industry 5.0 Community of Practice. And it's basically a networking platform promoted by EU, where good practices, ideas are shared and employed between stakeholders. So this is something to look at. Also, the links are below. Also, the presentations will be shared with the attendees. Maybe just a short look at the differences between Industry 5 and 4. Both are very much technology-based, but the Industry 5.0 adds a heavy, let's say, focus on workers, skills, human-centric design, and human-centric solutions. And together with sustainable and resilient solutions, we build solutions that we want to use. Also, with this term, there's another, let's say, sister term. It's called Society 5.0. It stems from Japan, where they want to build a society which is also technologically, so very much focused on technology, but with human-centered touch. So again, here we find this human-centric design, which I think is very, very much important. Speaking of focus, I would name one. It's called EU Digital Compass 2030. And still here we can see that there is a large focus on people at the center, freedom of choice, safety, security, solidarity, and skills and cadre, and of course, digital tools, transformation, and everything related to that. But there is specific mention of human-centric and people-centric design. So this is really important. And then if we somehow build a recipe for making good solutions, we need actually three parts. We need technology, which of course has to work and has to be reliable and proven. Then we need content. So what will be shown with this technology? And the third aspect, which is also important equally, it's user experience, so that the solutions are actually tailor-made for target users, humans, and that they make sense for them, and then they're easy and enjoyable to use. So often this part is overlooked, and solutions without this part are not that much successful. We have different approaches to achieve this. I would name two of the most known approaches. They're called methodological designs. One of them is called user or human-centric design. It's on the left, and on the right, it's another similar version. It's called design thinking. Both can be used to design human-centric solutions, and I think they should be employed equally with technology, with technological design. Also, there is an important strategy from the Europe on Web 4.0 and virtual worlds, and there is great, let's say, hope for these technologies. They have been recognized as one of the key technologies. And there's also great estimate of the market. These numbers are old, 1 year old, but still you can see there is really a large market for this, over 800 billion euros in services, goods, solutions, equipment, and the rest. And also here specifically, it's mentioned empowering people, reinforcing skills, and also interoperability and human-centric design. So this is really, really important topic, which brings us to another, let's say, type topic, virtual worlds, or which is closely related to extended reality, which is actually not only technology, but it's also a new medium. It's technology-driven, it's highly immersive, it's personal, it offers first-person experience, it's interactive, and where user experience and human-centric design is crucial for good and usable solutions. So again, we have user experience and human-centric design, which somehow glues and binds everything together. Then we come to the term of metaverse. I'm sure you're familiar with this. Here is one of the possible definitions of this term, which I really like. It's from Matthew Ball, also a very well-known author in this topic. And specifically, metaverse in Europe, tailored to smart cities, it's called Cityverse. And there is also a lot of attention and also funds given to develop these concepts and technologies. In conjunction to this, technologies like digital twins, XR technologies, virtual environments can be combined. And the idea is to make our environments digital or real, more user-friendly, more human-centric, and more enjoyable to live and use it. So again, we see technology, human-centric design, metaverse, all combined together with content. Of course, to make all these things work, standardization is important. There is a lot of standardization effort given to this. Here we can see some of the key organizations and institutions giving their effort to this. Maybe we can mention World Metaverse Council, IEEE, Standardization Association, and Metaverse Committee, Metaverse Sky, Worldwide Trade Web, C, Metaverse Interoperability Community Group, and all the others who are making standards, and thus providing and making sure that the solution that we use, that means devices and services, are interoperable. And this is key for that these services will actually live and be used among the users. So standardization is really important as well. Some disruptive technologies which are now present and also coming, Apple and Meta, so devices, and in the field of mixed reality, Microsoft and Magic Leap. Also, Vario is very disruptive company. Then we have the whole ecosystems, Google, NVIDIA, and development ecosystems like Unity, Unreal, and especially open systems and systems based on web technologies are also an important player in this, especially WebXR and related. And more are coming each day to this play field. And what we can see here and now is that we are mixing technology and experience. For example, modern XR devices enable both modes of operation, virtual reality and mixed reality. And so the technology is merging as well as the experience is merging. And this is also one of the important trends that we are seeing today. If we move to trends and challenges, in trends, of course, we want to have better technology, better video, audio. We want to have freedom of movement, so no cables. We want to have new interactions, haptics, maybe brain-computer interfaces. Eye tracking is widely employed, and also other sensors for better interaction and experience. We want to have content that is personalized. We want to have digital avatars, multi-user environments. We want to exchange also currency and value. Blockchain technologies come into play here. And there is still a lack of, let's say, efficient and easy to use editing tools so that everyone can create this content and sharing. Also, WebXR technologies here play an important role in promoting these technologies. There are still some challenges left, technological challenges. So the current state of devices and solutions is good, maybe good enough, but it's not perfect. So here we expect also a lot of technological improvements. Then again, XR presents a new medium. So new UX guidelines are needed. What we know from, let's say, designing 2D applications is not enough for designing effective and usable 3D applications. There is still lack of quality of content. There could be some health and social issues, namely VR sickness effects or uncanny valley. And still, and this is something we have to pay special attention to, are security, privacy, legal, and ethical considerations and issues when building such solutions. So we still have something to do. Here are some links. Maybe the first link I would point out, it's one of our projects we just finished. It's called ThinkXR, a very successful project. And the key, let's say, results that we achieved successfully was that we successfully employed and created an education program, which was then executed at the higher education and also in the industry, where we, let's say, successfully educated more than 40 trainers and students in the use of XR technologies and also in creating XR experiences. Yeah, that's it from my side. I think we are just a little bit over time. And if you have any questions for any of the speakers now and in the rest of the webinar, please post them in the chat room. And now we will move on. Please don't forget about this quote. You can also find it in the chat. Here you can give us your feedback and thoughts on the topic. So Industry 5.0, AI, human-centric design, and everything related to that. And now we move to the keynote speakers. First, I would like to introduce Dr. Blaž Petelanić. He's a researcher at the Institute of Jožef Stefan, and he has a great passion in AI, and I would ask him to present his keynote and share his best practices and thoughts on this topic. So, Dr. Petelanić, please.
Yeah, thank you. Let me just share my screen. I guess you can see it.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, great. Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank both Guna and Piotr for inviting me to have this short talk on AI for Industry 5.0. So my talk will be actually about how to build a knowledge-based digital twin for Industry 5.0, or actually in a way how to build a world model to help us utilize AI in Industry 5.0 a bit more efficiently. So first thing is, we know that from already back in the day that let's say with Google and Amazon with their assistants, that we had this kind of personalized natural human to cyber physical system interaction where we could, with intelligent assistant, tell him to schedule our appointments, or maybe filling some quota lists, or do some searching online for, let's say, music that you like, or do some kind of primitive ambient intelligence. And all of this kind of helps us with the personalized and specific manipulation for really specific aspects that you can use in your factory or even home. And now with the emergence of this advanced AI, such as large language models, where we can build some kind of agents that can do many different things, that can control even your computer. This is something that is being actually actively tested now, that you can use an LLM and talk with him through a voice interface and tell him, okay, do this for me on the computer, do that, delete that file, create that file, and so on. The thing is, we can utilize this kind of agents also in the Industry 5.0. And the best way to do this is to try to build it on top of something called like a digital twin, or a world model, if you want, of industry. Let's say that we have a factory where we have like a lot of different devices, or a lot of different things connected through Internet of Things, and we are collecting a bunch of data. And this data can be used to build some kind of a world model or a digital twin of the factory. And with all this data, which is structured, because in some kind of a knowledge-based digital twin where we have like a lot of information, we can maybe utilize something like an LLM to reason on top of that and maybe make decisions, or let's say try to detect certain anomalies in a factory or in a production process based on the data that is being collected here. And like I said, we try to build something like this to kind of demonstrate that this can be done. So we built actually a household electricity knowledge-based digital twin. It's a household one just because more data was available than for a factory, but actually, in fact, this kind of concept can be easily transferred also to smart factories and utilize it in such a way that we can reason on top of this. And in our case, we build it based on households where we have things like metadata, like where the house is located, what is the weather outside, how many devices are in the house. So in the context of factories, it could be how many factory devices we have there for production and so on. And we build this with actual data from the actual time series measurements, which can easily be replaced with whatever you want. Also like data from these devices within a factory. And we try to reason on top of this. And if you build all of this together, it's very easy to have it structured in a meaningful and machine interpretable representation. And this then can be utilized further on with something like a large language model. And one way you can do this is if you would use something called retrieval augmented generation, which is probably for most of you, you at least heard of this term, which is basically a way to give context to an LLM so that you can reduce the hallucination of LLMs. And one way this can work on such a knowledge graph is that we pose a question, or maybe an LLM poses a question to itself. So if you consider these newer models that are able of reasoning, they can pose the question to themselves. So for example, in this case, an LLM can make a prompt to itself, then this prompt gets transformed in such a way that we get a query for this kind of knowledge graph so that we can gain the insight from this knowledge-based digital twin. And from this, we can get a context, and then an LLM can get an answer. So let's say a typical example of this would be that LLM asks itself, are there any issues in the factory? Are there any anomalies? And then through this, we could reason that something is happening on one particular device. And because an LLM can use also tools, it could mitigate this problem. Like, for example, that one of the wireless nodes in the factory that connects to all of these IoT sensors that are deployed within the device can maybe be reconfigured in such a way that the connection is again established and that we are not losing data. And we actually tested this on a more primitive way of, let's say, can we explain a load profile within a house? So how the consumption was done within the house. And with this kind of prompt, you can actually, what the LLM can do is transform this into some kind of query. And then it checks the time series data that it has in this kind of knowledge graph. And then it can interpret it. And in this case, I just put here an example of such a time series, how it would look like. But this is all done automatically through one prompt. So the LLM does everything on its own. And then we can get like a proper response out of it. So what was happening early in the morning, that there was some drop in the peak, and this kind of reasoning that an LLM can do can be quite easily then utilized to automatize parts of the decision process within a factory. And all of this is based on some kind of knowledge-based digital twin. And this is also now route into which the development of more advanced AI system is going. So how can we build some knowledge base or knowledge database, if you want, that can help reason? Because we know that the human brain, the way it's done is that we kind of try to recollect some previous memories or previous knowledge and so on. And then on top of that, we do some kind of reasoning. And this is one way how we can help these advanced AI systems to reason and also help us solve daily tasks in such an environment, like in a factory or some other, let's say, also maybe how to maintain and schedule tasks in a cloud environment and so on. So yeah, and the way I see it is that in the future, at least this near future, maybe in the long term, we might achieve some kind of AGI, but now in the shorter future, there will be some kind of a system where you can say, we have an LLM operating system where this LLM, through this kind of knowledge database that, for example, I showed here, can make some kind of reasoning, and then it can call different tools to solve it. Like, for example, if you would ask him to compute some load profiles, maybe it would check with another LLM how to do it. Or maybe if it hits a problem that it can't solve, maybe it can go into a browser and search something, and then makes the best decision for this kind of particular problem. yeah, and I think that the future is there. And then we come to the question of how to actually make this kind of thing safe, which is a topic all on its own. But what I wanted to demonstrate here is that actually we already have a technology that can help in these kind of situations, and we have a technology that can automatize parts of the system, but there are still some hiccups that we need to solve. But more or less, this is the way I see how Industry 5.0 can actually take into advantage this kind of systems, and especially these advanced AI systems. Okay. Yeah, this is all from me. Yeah, I guess if there are any questions, feel free to pose them through the channel.
Dr. Bertalanich, thank you very much for your contribution. And I would kindly ask Dr. Thomas Uslander to present his keynote on the topic.
Okay, thank you. I will share my screen, or at least the PowerPoint presentation. Can you see that?
Yeah, everything is okay.
Okay, so thank you very much for the invitation. I will talk about the innovation trends in Industry 4.0 as I see them. And I'm a business manager for AI systems engineering at Fraunhofer IOSB in Karlsruhe in Germany. And I'm heavily involved in Industry 4.0. That is why I have to say there is criticism from the platform Industry 4.0 that this term Industry 5.0 is not needed. And because the Industry 4.0 stands for the fourth industrial revolution, and this has not yet ended, we're still in this transformation process, which is not defined by any technology, but which is defined by this whole digitalization of industrial production and use of modern technology, being AI and all of that. And it was all the time human driven, and we can discuss that in the plenary or in this roundtable discussion later on. That is why I will just talk about Industry 4.0. It includes all what we need. There is the trend towards open industrial production ecosystems, and interoperability between the physical world and the virtual world, for example, by means of digital twins, is one of the key topics from the technology point of view. And here in this world now, where we are using open standards from OPC, the OPC Foundation, from the platform Industry 4.0, from the International Data Spaces Association, and so on. In this world, we are now putting the place of AI technologies, and to bring all that together also towards the inclusion of the humans, both in the physical world but also in the virtual world. The foundations towards these open industrial production ecosystems are, to my perspective, two essential aspects. One is a systematic way how to integrate AI models and methods into the overall IT system. This is called AI systems engineering, and the other are data spaces. So the way to organize data and to exchange, to share data across enterprises. I will talk about these two main aspects. First of all, AI systems engineering. This has been defined by our research institute some years ago as a way to address the systematical development and operation of AI-based solutions as part of systems that master complex tasks. And the reason for that is that in contrast to consumer-oriented AI in a technical environment, and especially in industrial production, you cannot just use AI methods and then trust them, because you have to think about how can I really trust in the system behavior despite the use of AI methods? Because there is no clear performance indicator in the design and engineering process already, how the system will behave when you have AI models inside. So will the system finally be approved by auditing authorities? How does the system behave in case of unexpected inputs? Is the resultant system resilient, available, robust, reliable? All these non-functional characteristics are decisive in industrial production. And how can I get the required data? Is the data fair enough? Or has it some bias included? All that means you need a systematic way to approach that, and we call that AI systems engineering as a kind of new research and engineering discipline. As front of IRSB, we have defined a process model to do that, and we call that PACE, a process model for AI systems engineering. And on the right-hand side, you see an overall picture, figure of PACE. So it is a kind of combination of a traditional waterfall model for the main phases of such a process, where you also come up with a functional decomposition of the overall IT system, starting, of course, from the goals and problem specification. And you see when you look at the subsystems on the right-hand side, there is also data sets as a very important subsystem to be recognized and handled as an own subsystem with an own life cycle. You are using these data sets for training the machine learning models, but you have to maintain that because there will be some retraining that is necessary in the operative phase. And then for the subsystems, you can then apply agile methods and make some iterative development cycles with some integration points at certain milestones, and then hand over a certain version of the system, go to operation and maintenance, and then go back, if required, to update and upgrade the system. If you want to know more about that, here is the link. So the other aspect that I will talk about are data spaces, because you need some data for your AI models, and not every time these data models and data sets are in your own company. You have to retrieve them maybe from other enterprises in your supply chain, or from your partners or whatever. For example, also to calculate the CO2 footprint over the whole supply chain, you have to do that. So you need to have an overall system data integration and sharing concept. You may do that via cloud services of the hyperscalers, but this is not in the sense of European data and technology sovereignty. That is why we need a new approach, and we call that data spaces. It's a means to retain the data sovereignty, that is the capability of being entirely self-determined with regard to your data. And you need a data space infrastructure to do that, and not only to control the access to the data, but also control or even semi-control the usage of the data. So these are core elements of data spaces. You may have data spaces on several levels within machines, between the components, within a production plant, between machines, but also between enterprises, in order to fulfill services and requirements across the whole supply chains. There are several data space initiatives already running, and I cannot explain that in total here due to the short time that I have here. But for Industry 4.0, we have here now an evolution towards Industry 4.0 data spaces. They are relying upon this core element of an asset administration shell as a means to define and run interoperable digital twins. This is maintained by the Industrial Digital Twin Association, which is now a global initiative, which also has some standardization activities for these AAS. And in Germany, at least, it started there. There are data spaces supported by the German government, by the Ministry of Economics. For the automotive, this is Catena-X. And for the supplier industry, these are initiatives such as Factory X, which are now deployed on a global scale. All this is open source. For example, for the asset administration shell, there's a Fraunhofer tool called FAST, which you may directly use in order to implement this Industry 4.0 asset administration shell. You can directly download that and use it in the context of OpenCUA and other industrial services and protocols. So to conclude, to my opinion, Industry 4.0 is still an ongoing transformation process in the industry. There is no need at all to define a new term. We still are in this fourth industrial revolution. AI is just a technology, but needs, in order to be installed and operated on a long term, a methodology, which is AI systems engineering, and data, which may come from these data spaces. Openness is key here. Openness means you have to use standards for efficiency and also flexibility. There are standards such as the asset administration shell, but also standards appearing such as the data space protocol that is being used by the data space initiatives. And what is, of course, required is to be compliant by design to all of these European regulations, which are, for example, the Data Act, the Cyber Resilience Act, and the AI Act. Sorry for the typo here for cyber resilience. So this is key here to be really on the regulatory side in line with the European directives and laws. Thank you very much. And I'm open for discussion and also for the roundtable.
Dr. Ruslander, thank you very much for your contribution. And now I will kindly invite Mr. Urban Peunik to share his experiences in Industry 5.0 or 4.0 at his company with us. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Urban Peunik, and I'm coming from company High Project. I'm the owner, and I would like to share the presentation. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
I have a very long presentation, so I will focus just for a few projects what we made already in almost 10 years. But the focus from the previous job and what is the my experience. I work in the area of the heat treatment. So we produce furnaces, and in this moment I cannot work on only that matter. We need to look on the very wide spectrum of this technology. We need to put all new equipment in this spectrum, like robots, manipulators, and new technologies. And today I would like to show you one example of thinking what we made in steel industry. We think that this technology, which is I don't know 10-20 years old, is not the best. My goal is to put all heat treatment burners in the future, which is made for not for with the gas that we have the heat treatment, but with the hydrogen. So we need to put hydrogen in the all kind of technologies, and this is the first example how to reduce gas consumption. Yes, we know we have a problem with the storage of this hydrogen, and we need to have pipelines, and the transport is also the problem. But for the future, I think this will not be a big case. We go very fast on that matter. So all this what we know we put in the last projects. So with the oxygen burners, we can reduce gas consumption, we can reduce CO2 emissions, and easy to change with the energy with the hydrogen. So this is one example what we already do. And another example is how to put all production in very high level automatization. If we know furnaces 20 years ago, we need people for loading and unloading, and we need storage of all materials for heat treatment. In this area, and the last project what we made is completely automatic with 24 hours storage. So on half hour work with the people, with the staff, then this line can work approximately 24 hours. All the small pieces go in the furnace, in the quenching unit, and at the end in the low temperature furnace, and storage on the left side. From right side we put inside the load. From left side we unload this material, and we can check with the best equipment what we have. This is also EBA software, probably you know this. We measure all the vibrations, all the temperatures, the water, the temperature inside the furnace. Everything is digitalized. So that means that everything you can check it from the office. You can learn the people from the another spectrum how to work with the furnace. Here we can use AI. Here we can use metaverse or another level of industry, and here we can easily put all the knowledge from the people. I don't know, some workers work 40 years on similar projects and then go they retire, and how to put knowledge to the another people. This is 5.0. This is the reason what we need 5.0, and here we have a reality projects. And the last one, what I would like to show you, this is the project in the middle of Ljubljana. We have circular economy. Circular economy, that is one thing what I would like to show you. All the fishing nets we can pyrolyze in the furnace at the bottom. Then we can burn on some level that all the gases go in the upper position, and with the hot and very big temperatures we can produce another energy, and this is steam generator for steam, and all this steam can go to the spot center. And the waste in this furnace below from fishing nets, it's only copper, and copper can be used also for another reason, for another technology, how to put in the production on some products. So circular economy, fully automatic machines with all best technology what we can use it, we can very easy to upgrade to high level with the AI and use this for maintenance, for easy put all the knowledge to another people, to another stuff, and to learn from this case, from this library. All the students from the schools can first learn in this environment and then can go directly to the production. This is my vision, and thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Mr. Pevnik, thank you very much for your very interesting insights and project showcases to the topic. And now we'll have a sort of breakout session. We'll be sharing your thoughts, your feedback from Slido. So, and also answer the questions you posted to the chat. Thank you also for those. And I see also there are some answers to these questions already posted there. And we'll ask our keynote speakers to share their thoughts on the questions. Now for the Slido. So how you see these topics?
Jože, we don't see, we see just your
just
screen. Yeah, please.
Yeah, just a second.
Please.
Or maybe in the meantime, we can use the time. So there was one question from Sonia. And the question is, how much is blockchain used in running AI on it? So the data will not be centralized. Are there any projects already working with you to provide this? Maybe some thoughts from the panelists and keynote speakers on this question in the meantime.
If you want, I can give some answer from my side.
Yes, please.
So if you need a blockchain in order to secure your data store, depends, of course, of the use case. But as I explained, there are data spaces where you don't have to use blockchain. The data resides on those who own the data and are only shared and exchanged between those who need the data on the requirement. So here you don't need blockchain. There are other ways to secure the data. And I think this is much better to have a decentralized approach than to use blockchain.
Thank you very much. Any other thoughts? And then we can continue with the next question that we have. Also, there were some answers to this. I think it's also a very important question. And the question is like this: who will be at fault if AI agent makes a mistake toward the client? Any thoughts on this? Because legal repercussions could be disastrous in this case. Any thoughts from the panelists on this? We also have some very interesting answers to this question already in the chat.
So yeah, I guess since I was talking a lot about agents, I guess I'll take the first answer to this. So it kind of falls into the same categories if an AI makes a medical decision, right? So who is now at fault? Is it actually the doctor, or is it the AI, and who will take the responsibility for it? And luckily, in this kind of environment, it's much easier to handle this kind of things than when we get to the medical stuff. But in any case, the way I see it is that first we need to build this kind of systems because we don't actually know how they will act once deployed. And then they really need to be heavily tested and make sure that they are robust, because there could be some kind of edge cases where maybe these kind of things don't act the way we predicted they will. And these kind of things need to be caught in the testing phase to make sure that they don't then, let's say, hurt the client in the end. However, in any case, this is a very complex stuff, and we come a lot to this kind of legal things where, who is actually then liable if things, if there's a mistake in it. And yeah, the only thing is the one who is deploying the AI also takes the responsibility of it. But to kind of minimize this risk, they really need to test it heavily and make sure that it's robust and that it can work. But as far as I'm concerned, in the end, it's from the one who made the AI system. And he needs to be responsible for that.
Thank you very much for your answers. And now let's look at the results of the poll of the survey. We had 18 correspondents to this survey. Thank you very much for contributing. The first question was, what aspect of Industry 5.0 excites you the most? So here there was only one option you could choose, and the most, let's say, the option that the most of you chose was integration of AI and robotics, followed by human-centric innovation. And then the last one is sustainability and green transformation. So we have your thoughts on this. The next question is a word cloud. And the question was, what one word, so only one thought, comes to your mind when you hear this term Industry 5.0? And here are the results. We see challenge, AI, transformation, future, sustainability, digitalization and AI, humanism, techno-humanity, human-centric, humanoid, robotics, Industry 4.0, and twin transition. So these are your thoughts on this topic. Now for the next one. What do you think is the biggest barrier to adopting Industry 5.0? And it seems that the biggest one that you see is the cost of implementation. And then the second one is resistance to change. Yes, also quite an important factor. And then we have lack of skills. The next one. If your company had to integrate AI today, what would be your top priority? Well, seems quite a real-life question. And toward considering your answers, training the workers and skill upgrading is the key focus where the companies would focus if they would integrate AI tools today. And this answer is followed by the answer of upgrading technology, of course, and improving sustainability. So training is important. Another question was, which Industry 5.0 topic would you like to explore further? And you chose AI's role in smart factories, followed by ethics in AI and Industry 5.0, and collaborative robotics. So this was the last question to the poll. Thank you very much for contributing. You can still contribute if you want to. And now we will move to the round table. Let me share the screen briefly. So we will move to the panel. We'll have 5 very interesting panelists. 3 you have already heard from today, and there will be 2 additional speakers. The first one is Marco Velanti, currently serving as the Research Innovation Area Manager at T2I in Treviso, Italy, where he's involved in supporting companies in digital transformation and user-centric design. So exactly what we need on this panel. And the second panelist is Vladislav Gromov, who is the founder and CEO of AITD, a German company, which is also specialized in embedded AI solutions for aviation, automotive industries, and household appliances. And of course, we have also the 3 keynote speakers, and all of them will share their insight on the topic of AI Industry 5.0 and human-centric design. And I am giving the word to my colleague Aleš Pelc, who will be moderating this roundtable. Of course, please feel free to post any questions to the chat, and we will answer them after the panel.
Thank you, Jože, and I would really like to thank all the panelists for the previous session. It was really important, and the knowledge is very, very nice. It was very nice to hear, and for every good cases. And now we are going to our Jože, I think it's your screen is pinned up, so maybe you can just share, stop sharing the presentation, if it's possible. Okay, we will go further. So thanks again for that. You come in so many. That we have so many participants. I think there is a really important topic, Industry 5.0. And thanks, Josef, for introduction, my guest. We should start with the first question from the beginning. And of course, our participants are really interesting in one thing. What kind of benefit, what do you think, what kind of benefit, and of course from your practice, what kind of benefit organization and companies which attend this webinar will have when they will adopting Industry 5.0 principles? And of course you could also give some example with study cases or best practices on the topic which you are working on. Because I think this is the most important question for today's webinar, that we answered that for the companies who attend. So maybe who is will that could start? I think maybe we could give the words for the to our guest, maybe Vladislav or even Marco. Maybe Vladislav.
Sure. Thank you for
Thomas
for the invitation.
Vladislav, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, we are at ITAT. We are building silicon devices with sensors on them. So the use cases we always see and older topics like predictive preventive maintenance for also new leading to new business models, so you can so on. Then for sure the quality control is the main AI point in a lot of production and process line, better control some processes, especially in process industry. But also if you want to ask about human-centric or not only human, that we see more and more, especially we here in Germany have more and more problems, gathering the persons, the time they interact knowingly with the system, the less the better it is. So the interaction of the best or more efficient way, and there we do a lot, and we applied already a lot, for example, from easy gestures and keywords, spotting controls, so you can speak with a part of a line, kill safety features like are the person stressed or closed up in some safety areas and so on. So persons even don't know that they interact with something but are reacting. Yeah, that's a small overview of AI or embedded AI use cases, which are already now in a lot of manufacturers and so on for the first. Thank you.
Thank you, Václav. I just think that some problems are on the line. So if it's possible to find some other Wi-Fi hotspot, so it could be better. Thank you for your answering. So Thomas is raising his hand. So Thomas, what is your answer? What company will get from Industry 5.0? What is the biggest benefit?
Much more efficiency in implementing innovative solutions. In your survey, most of you have responded that the cost of implementation is the highest barrier. So Industry 4.0 brings you standards and reusable technologies with open interfaces, open source components, and all that, and you can use and combine them, and then build your own applications and together with your partners much more easily and efficiently. So rely on that, and you will have the benefit for your own company. Think in terms of ecosystems where you have to work together with other companies. Then such interoperability issues are key.
Cool. Thanks for your opinion. And we go to the Marco. Marco, what is your opinion about that? What is your organization working? Do you have some best practices or good cases in Italy on that topic?
Well, the point in Industry 5.0 and 4.0 is about to be able to be more efficient and more effective. And Thomas, in his presentation before, raised a very interesting point about industries 4.0 and 5.0. And I agree that there are no new technology by itself, but the change makes sense because in many countries, at least, the concept of Industry 4.0 was misinterpreted and needed to be changed, let's say. Because the point is that you need to start by the actual need of the company and not by the technology. So you need to have some objective that may be to, I don't know, be more, have a more flexible production and also provide more value to the customer and so on. And then the technology is the thing that allows you to reach that goal and get the result that you need. So from this point of view, the Industry 4.0 and 5.0 allows you to reach objectives that before were impossible, because it allows you to be flexible in a way that was impossible before. It allows the small companies to compete in markets that were out of reach. And but the main point before is that the starting point needs to be to have a clear identification of the need, because this is the common mistake that we often see, that one starts from the technology. They see the new shiny robot that they would like to buy to have in the production line, but this works only if they have a goal in this. But if you have this goal, obviously all this new technology allows you to reach them in a way that was impossible before.
Oh, that was really deep, Marco. Thank you for that explanation. So, Blaž, what is your opinion? What challenges do you address on the ESL in Institute Joseph Stefan?
Actually, this might sound a bit different, but we mostly we spend a lot of energy convincing companies that they can use AI. This is something that kind of surprised me in general, that they're quite conservative. So usually where we try to kind of come up with a solution, some kind of AI solution to use it in this in the industry environment, they do not trust it that much. So we spend a lot of energy kind of trying to show them that this is safe technology, that they can use it. And especially in energy sector, they are very, very conservative in this term. So telling them about predictive maintenance, let's say for the transformation station or so on, it doesn't work for them. I mean, everything needs to be very clearly explained, and especially if you use some kind of, let's say, black box model, then quickly they distrust it and you spend a lot of energy convincing them. But in general, I think that AI can bring mostly efficiency and can help you with some kind of anomaly detection and stuff like that. And automation in general, I mean, we know through history that automation in general brings a lot of benefits, right? And the thing is, first we had this kind of mechanical automation. Now we have, let's say, this kind of more software automation. And I think that people in general in industry shouldn't be afraid of this technology, especially, okay, I know that everybody, when you talk about AI, they think about these large language models and all of this kind of really state-of-the-art and complex systems. But in the end, AI is also are very simple models like logistic regression, where you just do some kind of binary decisions and so on. And this technology is very mature and can easily be explained, and it's mostly deployed in industry 5.0, at least from our point of view. And I think this is the technology that they shouldn't be afraid of, and they should embrace it and make sure that they can use it to their benefit. But I also agree with Marco, who said, the most fancy toy and so on, usually that's not the right approach. But yeah, you have to know, identify the problem and identify what kind of solution can help solve it. And this is what we are mostly working on.
Thank you, Blaž. Great point of view. And we're going to the Urban Pevnik. Urban, what is your push to work in the industry 5.0? I know that you are building an institute for the industry 5.0. So why companies asking you to help them? What is the most important question for them? And of course, what do you answer them?
Yeah, thank you for the answer. First, I would like to show you the situation 20 years ago. We designed similar equipment with only with a computer and one or two programs, and the customers also used only the program on the electrical cabinet, and everything was very simple. And today, in 4.0, we have industry with a lot of programs and a lot of technologies for all the simulations and analysis and similar things. And it's very, very easy to use these programs with some knowledge, not so difficult to learn. But the first question was, what is the benefit of this web and this 5.0 industry? My opinion and my thinking from the point of view of the owner, we need to learn all these things, all the AI and 5.0 all technologies, because we don't know what will be in the 10 years. And I think in 10 years can happen so many things, so huge revolution with the technologies that we need to fight for exist. For my company, we need to fight with all new technologies to learn everything, to be so big innovator, and all my workers also, that we can fight for competition. And competition is not European companies. We know who is really competition. And I would like to push these technologies to Slovenia, to all people with the similar thinkings, that the engine must be again the Europe. And this is the goal. We need to push all new technologies with the hydrogen, with the AI, with the all similar things, and be so high educated on this level that we can fight also against AI if something can happen. I don't know in this moment. This is my opinion about that. So why institute? I would like to collect all the smart people to innovate in the similar way. So all the faculty, all the schools I invite, and I'm very happy to work with organizations and also with the companies which can think very similar, like I explained.
Great, great. I really like your vision that Europe should be first in some high tech. How can I say, area? But yeah, of course, we have a lot of work to do because Chinese and Americans and also other continents are very approaching to us. So for that reason, I really believe that that kind of approach is very good for building enthusiasm on Industry 5.0 or even all other technologies. So let's go to the second question. Many people say when Jože is asking them what they do think about, what is the first word when they think about Industry 5.0. So there was a lot of work on the humanities and even transhumanity and humanoid and of course collaborative with robotic. So why is so important? Why so important when we talk about Industry 5.0 or Industry 5.0, like Blaž already mentioned before, why so important that we address human-centric approach? What is the biggest secret behind why we didn't address this human-centric approach or humans in previous industrial revolution? What was changed? What is changing? Sorry. So please. Marco, you can start, or
okay, I can start. Well, the point is that I think that we realized that something was missing before, because human-centric approach is key to actually reach the goals and to reach the effectiveness and efficiency that these technology allow. And also because if you use this technology to improve the satisfaction of users, this is something that can greatly benefit the productivity and so on. I make you a very simple example about quite simple work that we carried out a few years ago on a industrial machine. Basically, we studied the interface of the machine that was a wood cutting tool, and this allowed the operator, the worker, to save a couple of seconds on each operation, on each cutting operation, and most of all to avoid a lot of stress in using the machine, because they didn't have to make a complex setting and so on. And so what the impact was that they saved a lot of time in production, and they saved a lot of money because workers stayed on in the company, so they increased the worker retention. And Industry 5.0 can transform this in amplify this effect in all fields and in a very large different sector. So this is something that I think this is why, because if you focus on human interaction, on the user, that may be the customer, but also the worker, then you can really derive the benefit of that this technology can allow.
Thank you, Marco. Your explanation is always brilliant. So, but Thomas is raising his hand. Thomas, please.
Okay,
Say.
I have some problems with this term human-centric approach. I think we
Okay.
need a problem-driven approach, a
Okay.
use case-driven approach. And this, of course, will then motivate what you need on the technological level. And maybe this was not promoted so much in Industry 4.0, but it was also there. And from the beginning on, we had defined a lot of use cases and have thought about what is the common requirement. And the common requirement is, of course, an interoperable solution for digital twins. And that is why this was put into the forefront. And now, based on this, which is now becoming an international standard, then all these other innovative solutions, being it AI methods or really powerful digital twins and simulation approaches and AI-based engineering and all of that, and also enterprise across solutions for sustainability issues such as the product passports and CO2 footprint calculations. All this is now possible in an efficient way. So I can only repeat what I said. We are still in the fourth industrial revolution, and this is the motivation to call it Industry 4.0. This is not a version number, so there is no need to call it now Industry 5.0. This only disturbs the whole process, to my understanding. And yes, because it's not that this is something that is new. All what we are discussing is required, is very valid, is needed, but it's still part of this fourth industrial revolution. So we still have a need to bring that over to the small and medium-sized enterprises. And they are totally confused if they get every time new terms, although we are still in this transformation process. And as we have already heard, there's some reluctance in going towards new ways. And the SMEs especially are still in the process of digitalization their industrial processes. So this is the reality. So please use first what is already there, what has now been developed and distributed. And then once we will have done the fourth industrial revolution, but I think we will not live anymore, then we can think, yes,
okay.
It's a revolution, industrial revolution. And if you look back, how long did the second and the third industrial revolution take place? Then maybe you have an idea and a feeling what it would mean to have a fifth industrial revolution.
Okay.
That is my opinion, and sorry for being a little bit nasty there.
It's part of the life. Of course, it's very, very interesting also from the company's use, because they are, like many of you say, we are a little bit confused about the term. And of course, so for that reason, we are here, that we should try explain and view from different points. So thank you, Thomas, for now. Maybe Vladislav, what do you say about the human-centric approach? What is your opinion?
Yes, because you said my connection. Yeah, I think I'm totally with Thomas. So the human-centric approach, use cases around human.
Vladislav, could I ask you just for that you remove video? Just
yeah, I removed
just we
the
could
video.
try. Okay. Then keep going.
Yes, so I begin from the beginning.
Okay.
I'm totally with Thomas, who said that the human-centric approach comes additionally, to the Industry 4.0, and these are basically, or this is basically the sum of use cases around cases, and they need to be valuable also in an economical sense. And why are these coming more into the loop? Because the human is more valued, more more rare, so that's why we make more consideration about not only optimizing or means, but also with the interaction with a human. So that's basically economical. It's just more valued now, and we look more into the use cases around the human, and that's basically the difference of this both human-centric as a buzzword around all other buzzwords we have in industries and markets.
Okay, thank you, Vladislav. What do you think, Blaž and Urban? I know that, Urban, you have a different question from companies, and Blaž, of course, your research point of view is a little bit from other side. So let's show your opinion. Who will start? Blaž, you can start.
I guess I can start. Let's go alphabetically. So it really depends on what do you actually want to. So I agree with both Thomas and Marco. So they had like two really valid points. And in my opinion, if we go into this kind of human-centric, that we try to help humans to be more productive and also in a way less, let's say, tired from work and so on, generations are changing. If I get a little bit more philosophical, more and more newer generations, they value a lot more their free time than maybe the old generation did. But doesn't mean that the old generations didn't like take into account their free time, just the mentality was a bit different. I also notice it, let's say, from me from home, that, you know, my parents were like a completely different way of thinking regarding work. It's like, you know, you have to grind and so on. So the question here is also in what kind of aspect we are trying to automatize this. Do we try to automatize it so that we gave people, let's say, a 4-day work week so that they have more free time, that they are more happy and so on? Or do we automatize it to increase production and to even, you know, let's say in a way, make even more money out of this? So this is a bit of an interesting way of looking at two things. So why do we even do this? Why do we want to this kind of automatization? And in my opinion, I mean, I look at it from a different point of view, because for me, it's about the technology. I like the technology, and I like to implement it, and I like to play around it, and like to see where are those capabilities to where I can push technology in helping industry, right? But then what is the motivation from the other side is very, very dependent on the company and the politics of the company. What are their views on this? And some will use it to increase productivity, and some will use it to actually improve their, let's say, improve the work environment for their employees. And yeah, it really comes to that. And I think that it should actually be used for this kind of more to help the employees and make them happier, because we know all the studies about, you know, if people are happy and they are satisfied and so on, they also are more productive and they can work more efficiently. And I think it should be used in this kind of sense, at least from my opinion. But yeah, it really depends on the use case to use case.
Thank you, Blaž, for your perspective. Urban, I will spread this question for you because it's really interesting to me. What what kind of digital skills and competences are important when you are providing that kind of technologies or even new machines in the companies? So why do you think this human-centric approach is important for companies and also for Industry 5.0?
Okay. My answer will be that we do all these works already in the company, like a boss or like a owner. I have my team with very open approach. If you understand, I would like to work open with no stress, with thinking and put some innovative things on the table, and this you can receive it only if you are without any stress. And if you think in the forward direction in the production, workers who work 10, 12 hours and difficult environment cannot be innovative. It's very under stress and also not happy. Go home and have problems at home. And if you connect all these things, what we hear today, we need happy people and connected with the nature and think very innovative. I think this will be solution to speed up all this revolution.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Yes, these are important things. Well-being is one of the topic and which we will facing in the future. In the second webinar, we will talk about on the digital skills and competences for the employees and also for what should CEO know. But I know the time is running, but it's just one more question from my side for all of you. Maybe we could start with Vladislav. European Union, our regional countries, and or even macro-regional like EUSALP, which part of RECENTRE project is, are doing very well and a lot think on the that topic of digitalization, new technologies, and of course the circular economy as well as part of Industry 5.0. So what should be the main point on which we should focus all together in the early near future? So what is the first step with which we should start working on Industry 5.0, on the people, on the companies, and even on the country level or even on European level? So Vladislav, the word is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. I switched off again. I think that one of the biggest point we always see with customers, especially like also from the German point of view, of readiness for cooperation. So especially if some bigger AI projects are running between SMEs and bigger companies or institute European Union or by other funds, it's still hard to get bigger companies like the size of not because of price or the lack of adoption to AI. I'm basically thinking that we see trend in the normal media are quite good adapted to AI, so they're probably true, but also in less companies in Germany, more are opened for AI now, get the companies to cooperate within, sharing data, sharing intellectual property, and way to reserve in this kind of cooperation. That I think the the famous AI Act with this risk assessment, which costs every time a lot of bureaucratic documentations and transparencies and so on. But also as the door for a lot of use cases which are indeed human-centric. For example, emotion detection trucks or in airplanes, where you need to monitor, for example, the driver or the pilot for sickness or for so on, and such kind of use cases which are really up to date and will come in the future. We are more willingness to cooperation, which is a mentality issue, I think. And second is the regulation, which leads the right path to innovation.
Okay, Vladislav, thank you for your opinion. I would like to ask Blaž, from your opinion, you are a researcher, do you think the more money will be the right solution? What do you think about that? So what is your opinion? What is the first step? Please.
Yeah. So in my opinion, currently, if we focus, let's say that we focus only on the AI part of the Industry 5.0. Yep. The problem that we have in Europe is it's GDPR. And I don't mean this in a bad way, that we have a problem with GDPR, because we need to protect the data of each individual. But from the point of developing AI systems, it's quite restrictive. So in my opinion, there should be a way of how people can share their data so that we can build this kind of models and we can compete, let's say, with China or with the US. And data spaces is an initiative that is going into that direction. But still, I think that from the regulation point of view, there should be some way that this data could be more easily available, or at least that it wouldn't be as restrictive as it is now, because otherwise, without data, it's really hard to develop this kind of autonomous systems. And I think that there should be a lot of some cooperation between different companies or industries to kind of share their data in such a way that this kind of more complex systems can be built. But currently, I don't see an easy solution for that, especially if we want to keep all of this GDPR thing in place, which I think is very important in general. But at the same time, we are competing with countries, like I said, with the US or China, who don't have this kind of restrictions. So we are not actually playing in the same playfield, right? So they have different rules, and that's why they're advancing much faster than we are. So the thing is, I think that more and more money can help to an extent, but still there are certain things that can't be addressed just with money. And if we are investing more money into it, we should invest it into smarter parts of it and really think about where exactly to invest. Is that in infrastructure? Is that in, let's say, more into this collaboration and make some kind of platform where companies can share their data in a more, let's say, in a positive way and so on. So this is kind of my position on this. So everything comes down to data. So with data, you can be competitive. Otherwise, it becomes very fragmented and you can't do much.
Cool. Thank you, Blaž. I think that Thomas is already hardly waiting to answer this question. Thomas, what is the first step on the national or even European level, by your opinion?
I think we have to clarify the regulatory problem a little bit. Not all is forbidden as it seems to be. So the GDPR is only, for example, related to personal related data, and industrial production, you have no problem. to do that. So look at what the AI Act allows you to do. Define your AI system, and then you see in which category, in which risk class you're falling, and most of the applications in the industrial production will fall into the no risk area. So there are not so many obligations that you have to fulfill, but you have to do that to define your AI system and the system boundaries. From the technological point of view, I would really recommend to first look what has Industry 4.0 been defined, and look at the solutions, look at the open source software, and then apply that before you think about really defining other things. There are a lot of results, work in collaborations, in partnerships, and then you will see that you can build your own solutions on top of that. In terms of AI, this is a proposal. We have this process model for AI systems engineer, which starts from the problem statement, and then you have a guided tour towards the solution. This allows you to get reliable and robust and dependable AI solutions that are also compliant by design to the regulations of Europe.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. And because I think the Urban is falling out of the conversation, Marco, it will be your word, your last word, because you are also the leading partner of this project. Yeah. So we should go with you to the bright future. So let us in, please.
Well. I think that one of the key investment that national countries, but also companies should do, is about working on the skills of the knowledge of workers and the companies about the opportunities of digital technologies, of AI, and so on. This is especially true for Italy, that if you look at the DESI index, European index about digital skills, is one of the lagging countries, is falling behind, and using the knowledge of what are the opportunity is something that is crucial to take benefit from these opportunities. And so I think that this is the key point. And by the way, the next of this workshop will focus on this topic. And also one point that especially I think that European project that try to address also is try to create awareness about success stories, because this is the easiest way in which many people can understand what are the opportunity. Because when we talk about digital skills, it doesn't mean that everyone needs to be an engineer, a robotic engineer, but it means that you need to understand the basics and understand the opportunity. And so this, I think, is the first step that enable you to take benefit from the real huge opportunities that this technology allows.
Thank you, Marco. Of course, I should make some promotion for the project on this site. I think I will join you with question or invitation for all of participants to make a first step also with RECENTRE project and fulfill the survival questionnaire, because the right how can I say, digital maturity or industry 5.0 maturity assessment is the key for the all next steps on which we are working together. And if you have some other question about this topic, of course, my guests are very willing to help you on many different areas. And I hope that this webinar is only the beginning of our common journey in the future. So I would like to thank you again to all my guests and all participants to stay at this, how can I say, late hour at the early evening. And I give the word to the Jože for conclusion of this webinar. Thank you again to everyone.
Alex, thank you very much for moderating this very interesting roundtable panel, and also big thanks to all of the speakers, and of course to you attendees. I'll be brief. Don't forget, please share your thoughts about the webinar and this topic, and also the time frame and the format, so we can do better in the next webinar. And also you're kindly invited to participate in our next webinar, which will be on the 11th of December at the same time, so 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And the topic will be about worker skills, what is needed to be successful in this new era, in this new Industry 5.0 environment and our new society. And with this, I would like to conclude this webinar. And again, thank you very much for contributing to the speakers, to our honored guests and you attendees, and hope to see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.